Welcome to Theme Weavers, your weekly wisdom for weaving yoga themes into your classes to inspire your students. We're your hosts, Heidi
and Farin.
Welcome, Theme Weavers. Today we are exploring the second chakra. So we started our series on the chakras a few episodes back. And if you're not familiar with the chakras, then please be sure to go back and listen to episode 31, season 2, episode 6 to get a general idea and get yourself caught up. Anyway, here we are today on our second chakra already. It's kind of crazy. And we're in like less than ideal recording situation, but we're doing it anyway because we want to hold ourselves accountable to you and to ourselves. Right now, I'm in a hot closet and it's 10 at night. This is where we are. And Farin, where are you?
I'm in a hot hotel.
In a hot hotel. That sounds
a hot hotel room.
Nope. I think you should explain that a little bit better. Because to me, a hot hotel room means something very different than the hotel room that you're in.
Okay. I'm just in a hotel room that we had the window open all day because it was kind of nice and breezy, but then now it's just really hot, so we didn't have the air on all day, so it's like 75 degrees in here and stuffy.
That sounds gross.
And my son is playing Fortnite or Roblox or something with his friends, so he's also talking, but I have no space to go to close the door,
and so that's how we're showing up. We're just showing up as we are. So if everybody hears Farin's son talking in the background, hopefully he keeps it clean-ish. They just got out of a day in the hospital yesterday for treatment, so we're doing it. We're making it work for you, so come along for the ride.
Yep.
And if this is the first episode you're listening to, then you probably have no idea what we're talking about, but you'll have to go back and listen. But please check out episode 2 of our podcast, Theme Weavers, for details and background on the structure of how and why to weave themes through your yoga classes. And if you choose to use today's teaching on the second chakra as your theme while using the gift of our inspo sheet, then please find a way to turn our voices into yours. Make this theme authentic to you specifically. It's really important to have your own voice. And if you're enjoying Theme Weavers, I know we've been saying this a little bit more recently, thank you, because that just lights us up and makes us want to record in hot closets and hot hotel rooms. And follow us, review us, leave us a review on Spotify or Apple or wherever you podcast. Leave a little review. Let us know. Follow us on Instagram. We've been having a fun time making reels and posts about what it's like behind the scenes to record because it's fun for us and we hope it's fun for you to receive it. So let us know. It's exciting how quickly everything is growing, and that's because each of you. So we're grateful. We thank you. And let's keep this moving and grooving and growing and flowing. Just came up with that on my own right now. What do you think?
Love it. And that being said, I don't know if there's going to be reels of this episode in particular because we've both just found out neither of us are wearing bras. I'm not wearing pants either.
So it is a hot hotel room.
It's real hot in here.
FYI, she's sitting next to her 11-year-old child. It's just freaking hot.
It's hot. It's fine. He's seen me with no pants on, and I mean, I have a t-shirt. So
you also birthed him, and it's the same as a bathing suit. Not worried.
Yeah.
My kids are sleeping downstairs. My husband's traveling for work, and I've had the total crappiest 2 days ever. I mean, they're not the crappiest days. My kid's not in the hospital getting treatment for cancer. And I remind myself of that every time. I'm like, Farin, life sucks. My tire has a hole and I have no spare and no husband at home. And my daughter had a fish tank emergency and life is ending.
But all that also sucks.
Yeah, cool. That's because you're a real friend, Farin. Because a lot of people would be like, wow, that's pretty petty. It sucked. It sucked.
Yeah, it does.
But here we are. That's life. It's beautiful. It's messy. It's hot. It's complicated. And it's exciting. And here we are. Also taught a really awesome yoga class. So, I mean, you win some, you lose some. I'm going to take the win.
Today we're going to talk about the second chakra, known as Swadhisthana in Sanskrit. Swadhisthana, often referred to as the Sacral Chakra, is located in the lower abdomen, just below the navel. It is the center of our creativity, passion, and emotional expression. The second chakra flows with the energy of life, inspiring us to explore our desires and embrace our sensuality.
I I was telling my son when I was tucking him in that I'd be in my closet recording a podcast episode after he went to bed. And he asked what it was on. And I told him the second chakra. And he was like, what's that? And I said, it's like the energy center located right around your belly button that makes you like creative and like where you embrace that like fluidity in your life. He's like, that makes no sense. Why would that be in your belly button? Isn't that in your brain? Like, isn't your brain the creative part? I'm like, oh, yeah. Good night.
Love it.
I interrupted
I love
you.
it. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. He's like, I don't understand. Why does that have to do with your belly button?
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that's the difference between like subtle body and regular body. What's that called? Flesh body?
I don't know, like just your body.
Just your body. Physical and subtle. Anyways.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Exploring the second chakra invites us to tap into the depths of our creativity and passion. It encourages us to embrace the full spectrum of human experience, from pleasure to pain, from joy to sorrow. By understanding and nurturing our Swadhisthana, we can unlock our creative potential and cultivate a deeper connection to ourselves and others. So, how do we know if our second chakra is in balance? When Swadhisthana is functioning optimally, we feel a sense of passion and vitality in our lives. We're able to express ourselves creatively and authentically, nurturing healthy relationships and pursuing our dreams with enthusiasm. However, if the sacral chakra is too open, we may become overly indulgent or driven by our desires, leading to imbalance and instability. Conversely, if it's closed or blocked, we may experience a lack of creativity, intimacy, or emotional fulfillment. I feel like a lot of us struggle with issues related to the second chakra. Whether it is difficulty expressing our emotions, feeling uninspired or creatively stifled, or struggling with intimacy in our relationships, these are all signs that our Swadhisthana may be out of balance. It can be hard to work on balancing out our second chakra if it is out of balance, as we need to learn to cultivate a healthy relationship with our desires, to harness their power without being consumed by them. When we do this work, though, we can experience a deeper sense of connection to ourselves and others. We can unleash our creative potential, finding inspiration in the world around us and expressing ourselves authentically. We can cultivate fulfilling relationships based on mutual respect, trust, and intimacy. As we move through our practice today, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sacral chakra, to the center of your creativity and passion. Allow yourself to connect with the energy of Swadhisthana, embracing the fullness of your emotions and the richness of your experiences, so you can live a life filled with joy, passion, and creative expression.
It's good. Sometimes with the chakras, I find it so interesting because my linear brain is thinking like, well, sure, I'm creative in this way, but I'm not in this way, or this way. But then I am like connected to this kind of passion, but not that kind of passion. Like I just want everything to be like a very neat, tidy little box to tell me if I'm balanced or not balanced. And like that's not what life is like or what our energy centers are like. And it's going to be a little bit messy to help you find that balance within. And that like frustrates my brain so much. And then the other thing I was thinking about is last week we talked about this with our foundation, our root chakra, but you don't have the ability to feel sensual or creative or fluid or passionate when you don't have a roof over your head or the money to eat food, right? So like I just want to remind everybody that these layer on top of each other, and if you aren't secure in your foundation, it's difficult to find balance in the next level up.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like, what's that thing? Is it Maslow's
Hierarchy of needs. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Explain, because I don't remember it.
Maslow's hierarchy of need. It's like a triangle pyramid where at the bottom is the things that we need the most in our life in order to survive, like food, water, the natural resources that we need to live, essentially. And then you travel up the pyramid. And I think it's like 4 or 5 levels. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm trying to remember from like social work days. But it gets less necessary and more things that we want almost at the top. But we can't have those things at the top of the pyramid unless the base of the pyramid is met. So same idea with these. It's a hierarchy of needs, right? Like you can't have something higher if you don't have the lower.
I love that analogy, and I feel like that's a good way to like pull people into this type of thinking in class, because it's not just like, oh, these energy centers and these chakras and a subtle body, but it's like, look, it's connected to actual like psychology. Yeah.
Yeah. Psychology.
Yeah.
Psychiatry is like the medicine aspect of it. Psychology is the
Yeah.
science of the brain, the way that we work and behave. Yeah. All right. So we had this awesome Dharma talk, and then we need to figure out what our phrases are that we'll be able to drop throughout the class, this hammer that we drop at different points to help our students come back to the theme of the second chakra as they move their bodies, right? We want to keep them coming back. So it's not like, the theme's just at the beginning and then just at the end. So, you know me, I like to ask questions. So, can you find creativity in your movement? Listening to your own desire to move, even if it's different than what I am offering. I've been like really big at this lately, where I tell people, like, you're free to ignore everything that I say over the next hour, as long as you're tuning into your own intuition and what you need for your own body, and not thinking that you have to do just what I'm saying because the teacher's saying it, or what the person next to you is doing because the person next to you is doing it, right? Like, can you really listen into your own desires and honor them? I really like it.
This is something that I have been noticing so much in being able to practice yoga at the studio. Like, I didn't have my kids for the last like 2 weeks, right? So I was able to practice at my own studio instead of like just teaching all the classes and then never being able to go take class.
Yeah. It's
And so
really
I
important
noticed
to
that
do.
when I'm like,
It's important.
it's yeah, oh my gosh, it's so important. But I noticed that when I'm teaching, I'm very like rigid almost in my movements. Like, I just, if I'm demoing, I'm doing like exactly what I'm saying, and I don't do any extra movements. I'm just like, I am the model and this is it, and like very basic. But when I practice as a student, I'm constantly moving. Like, it doesn't matter what we're in. We can be in chair, I'm like bopping side to side. We can be in like warrior two, and I'm just like dancing, waving my arms around. Like, I cannot be still in a posture. I'm always adding on extra layers, and I can like just be so creative. Like, when the teacher says get into plank, I like float one leg. Like, it's just what I want to do, and I love being guided. I'm still like in the practice, and I hope I'm not like distracting, but I I'm definitely like a different yogi when I'm teaching versus when I'm practicing.
My first thought is like, that's a good thing, because when you're teaching, it's not meant to be your yoga practice, right? You're there to provide a practice for other people. And by being much more rigid with what you're demoing, you're keeping it not about you, right? That's one thing. But I do think that there's an element of us keeping our own practices a little bit sacred and not teaching the way that we entirely practice. And I found that with a lot of teachers, myself included. The way that I teach is not necessarily the way that I practice. It's similar, right? Like, there's similarities, but it's hard to, like, it almost feels like in some ways it's mine. I don't want to like totally share it. And so I do it a little different.
Yeah, I love that.
My selfishness. I love
It's
that
okay
too.
to be selfish. I love it so much. Like, yeah, hold on to that little piece of you that's just like, I practice how I want to. Like, this is my yogi body, my yogi practice.
Yeah. Have you ever offered
It's
your
really cool.
students, or do you offer your students, maybe you do, that freedom of intuitively listening to what their body desires and needs versus just doing what, like, the rigidity of what's being offered? Or do
Yeah,
you do?
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I always say that. Like, move in a way that your body wants to move. Tune into your body and see what it needs in this posture. It like just phrases like that to like help them like, oh, like let me experiment just a little bit. Or I offer like some suggestions on like how you might experiment in the posture if they're like completely clueless, like I don't know what to do. I do that. And then I also have noticed that if I'm asking them to do that and I hardly see like any real movement or change, I tell them to close their eyes. Because for some reason, when they close their eyes and they don't see the people around them, then they just feel more free to like move the way that they need to move.
Yeah, it's because we're
And
like super self-conscious beings and we think that everybody's watching
yeah,
us.
yeah,
I was talking to one of my YTT grads that I just graduated recently about, I think about a year ago, I started ending my classes before Shavasana with giving everybody 5 to 10 rounds of breath, or more if needed, or less if needed, to do what your body needs. Forget about whether it's a yoga posture, whether it's a movement that we ever do in class. Like, just listen into your body and what it needs and take that. And then I get quiet. And at first I was a little self-conscious about it because I thought like maybe people think I'm like ripping them off of the last 5 to 10 breaths of their practice. Like I'm just like being lazy and not offering something. And this YTT grad, her name's Melanie, love her. She said to me, what a gift that is, because nobody ever offers us the freedom to just listen in and be your own teacher. Right? Like we're so busy with everything we do, doing it the way that it has to be done in work, in parenting, in relationships. Like there's so little intuition or space for intuition, which we'll get into obviously when we get into higher chakras, right? Where we talk about intuition. But like, like that's a gift for people. And she said when she first started hearing me say that, she would like look around because she had no idea what to do. She's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do in this moment. And then like learned how to listen to herself. And that in and of itself is a huge lesson.
Yeah, that's really cool. So I start every class with like lie down on your back however you want to lie down. Breathe however you need to breathe in this moment to just arrive here on your practice. And then I end every class right before Shavasana saying, take any other posture that I may not have offered today, but that you need to do.
Yeah, similar. Anyway, okay, so other phrases. Let's see. Honor your desires and express them authentically with your body, which is similar to like listening to your intuition. Are you open to experiencing pleasure and joy in your practice? I like that one. Did I tell you what I say every time somebody goes into a balance pose?
No.
I always tell them that like when you wibble or wobble or fall out, like I want to see the corners of your lips turn up in a smile and try and find the joy in that. And then they like the joy of being able to try it again. Like you get to be able to try it again. Like how fun is that? And I started saying that when I first started teaching, like maybe within the first 6 months, because I could not stand the amount of frowny, angry faces staring at me. Like it just like made me feel horrible. So I was like, I'm going to change the tone.
I like it.
Also just move your body like water, giving them that imagery of the fluidity. That's another one.
Yeah.
Do you have any others that you might use? Not to put you on the spot.
I don't think so. Just kind of the ones that I mentioned of just like, what does your body feel like it needs right now? Like, allow yourself to move creatively and intuitively.
That's simple and nice. All right, cool. So we have a bunch of thematic through-line phrases. How do we bring this all alive in the class? What additional things should we hit on? Things like peak poses, specific pranayama, anything else related to the sound, to this idea of the second chakra? What do you think? I have some.
A peak pose. Yeah, I got nothing. What do you
Okay, great. I have a ton because I'm creative.
Yeah.
I don't teach purely flow-based classes. Like, I give people, maybe you could call it a slower flow, but I generally, when I introduce postures, they're held for a little bit and like get people into them. And then maybe I'll do another round of it and flow. But when I want to do second chakra work, we flow the whole class with breath and movement. And I give them the space, like if you need to skip a few postures or catch your breath or do it at your own pace, like that's totally cool. But like, can you allow this next hour to be completely connected to breath and movement fluidity? Other ideas? This I don't usually do unless I'm on like a retreat and it's a special class, but like a dance or a dance break in the class where like you just let your body go and you dance. Yeah, could you imagine me doing that? Like some tribal ass dancing in class? No. But like I do sometimes on occasion. Very much occasion.
Yeah, I can't picture that. I've done that.
I could picture that. Usually it is like, you know, your class that you teach on Kali with like the stomps.
Yeah.
Usually I'll do something like that before I like knew about Kali and stuff. But like usually it's a goddess pose with plantar flexions. You're lifting the heel up off of the ground. And we'll be stomping one heel down, blah, 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 blah. And then like turning that into like the upper body shifting with it and then like letting go of it staying in a goddess, but letting it just be a fluid movement. And then it's just like, a cool song comes on. It's like, dance, go, wah! You know. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
That's cool.
Exactly. Offering creativity in movement, right? Just literally saying, I'm going to give you space for creativity. Let your transitions be a transition that creatively speaks to you. It doesn't have to be high plank to low plank to a back bend to downward dog. Like, can we get creative here? Either I'm creative or they're creative, right? Like, I might offer very different vinyasa. And the last idea that I came up with, have you ever done I believe they're called mandala flows?
Mandala? No, what is that? What kind of flow is that?
It's kind of like if you're doing, most of the time we always face the front of the mat, right? But like, let's say you go from warrior two to a reverse warrior, and then you cartwheel your hands to the back of the mat into a runner's lunge. And then you end up doing the same sequence, but creating like a circle around your mat. So your front and back and sides are not necessary. Like everything, it can be the front of the mat at a different time.
Yeah. Okay. I do that a lot, actually. I just didn't know it was called that.
I mean, maybe it's not, but that's what I call them.
That's cool.
Yeah. Those are the ideas I had.
Yeah. It made me think of a class I've taught a couple times where we get into tree pose, but like you pick any tree pose variation that you want. And I like encourage them and challenge them to come up with a tree that they've never seen before in class. So like arms like wonky, like one up, one down.
I don't know.
What was that reaction?
Your arm looks, oh my God, why the way that you're internally rotating your arm makes it look like your arm's broken. Oh my God. It looks like in Harry Potter where you drink
Broken
that juice that that juice that like made their bones dissolve or something.
Yeah.
That's what I thought just happened to you. I just thought you went all like wizard on me.
Oh, I love it.
Broken limb.
So like, okay, so that like I guess it's a broken limb tree pose, who knows? Or like a windy tree where you're like moving as if there's wind in the room, or like twisted tree, revolved tree.
I did a side bend. I did a side bend today in class. That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just kind of like a challenge. Like, how creative can you be? Show me all these different trees. I want a whole different forest. No tree can be the same. And it turns out really cool.
I love it. That's cute.
Yeah.
Very experiential. I like that. All right, cool. Any other thoughts? Like pranayama? I don't know. I guess for pranayama, maybe putting your hand over your sacral chakra and like literally belly breathing, right? Like breathing to press out into your hand.
Yeah. You know what throws me off? These chakras are like along the spine. And so I think of that as like my back. And so like the sacral chakra is like the sacrum, right? Behind you. But it's like also
but there's
in
a front
like,
too.
Under your navel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like ignore the front part.
Ooh,
I don't know why.
I wonder what
Until
that
we
means.
get to the heart chakra, then I'm like, that's in the front. That's not in the back.
But there is the back.
All
of it's like 360.
Like
There's sides too.
Stop. Too much.
Radiating orbs in all directions, Farin. Whoa.
Oh, it's too much.
You make me giggle. That's so interesting. I wonder what that says about you. It's very linear. It's a very Heidi comment. If I were to think of who would have made that comment, I would have thought that I would have made that comment. And you would have been like, yeah, but the Libra in me sees all the sides. I see all the sides. The front, the back, the sides, the in-between.
This is the only thing that I just can't see them all.
I just think I'm rubbing off on you. That's what it is.
Maybe.
I'm rubbing my linearness onto you. Okay. Obviously, we have completely inspired you. So download our pretty inspo sheet found at theweaversyoga.com/episode 33. That's my son's soccer number, so it's a good number. 33, where we list out additional inspiration related to the second chakra for you to help take your class on this theme to the next level. And that sheet will include some inspirational quotes, some songs that bring the theme to life, as well as mantras, mudras, specific pranayama, postures, and meditation to weave into your classes.
To wrap up a class that you have taught on the sacral chakra, where you're asking everyone to be super creative, you can end your physical practice by asking them to be curious about their second chakra. Do you hear this kid?
I do hear this kid. I do hear him.
So bad.
He's falling. He's also good at surviving. He is whipping Cancer's ass and also Fortnite's. Boom.
I'm good at surviving. He needs it on a t-shirt.
Mantra. I'm good. He does need that on a t-shirt. Who fans of the Theme Weavers podcast? Who wants to make an I'm good at surviving shirt? I'll take one too. I'm great at surviving. So good.
Okay, let's try this again.
Wrap us up.
Cool. As we end our physical practice today, keep being curious about your second chakra. Remember that you are a creative being filled with passion and vitality that can embrace the fullness of your emotions and express yourself authentically, knowing that you are worthy of love and connection.
You, listeners, all of you, worthy of love and connection. It's true.
That's so good. It's so short and sweet and true and
boom.
Boom. So go to our website, themeweaversyoga.com/episode 33. The link will be down in the show notes and the description. And request the inspo sheet for the second chakra to help you bring this theme alive in your own voice, in your own practice and teaching. Please reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, email, and all the things to let us know how it lands. We're here to support you, fellow yoga teacher, in your class prep and delivery. So let us know how we can be of the most support. Then tune in next week for another episode of Theme Weavers. We're going to help you teach a class on the third chakra. We're just moving right up.
Spoiler alert!
Right up. Yep.
Up.
If you're unsure how to weave a theme through your class, go back to episode 2 of season 1, Why Weave? The Importance of Threading Intention into Your Yoga, for more background and inspiration. Until next time.
We weave you in peace and surviving.
We're so good at surviving.
So good at surviving.